Okay, hello there. Welcome, traders. Welcome, everyone, to the week ahead by Bretton Financial Trading Academy, or BFTA. My name is Kenny Simon. Hope you guys have had a good weekend. So we are on the ball at the moment with regards to quite a number of movements in the market already starting very early. So we will be going through the market. I had a busy weekend, actually, Alfred. So for myself, we have been analyzing the market. A lot of research has been done because, we're ending the year as well. So there's a lot of demand from traders and investors on the medium and short, medium and long-term type trade ideas, as well as my research outcome and also advice for these traders and investors. So we have got an extended community of traders for Bretton Academy as well in the Philippines, Colombia, Latin America as well right now. And we are also talking to traders at the moment trading marijuana stocks and all that from Canada as well. So we've got a mixed bag of traders all over the world. And I think traders nowadays, because of the current situation as well, is looking into loads of other opportunities. And basically, traders of different type of instruments, different types of asset classes are also growing, but all of them are mostly CFDs. So it is actually going really well with regards to traders trading on CFDs, because it is really flexible. You can trade in both ways, up and down the market. And it's actually quite convenient trading through a broker as opposed to a physical exchange or even the bank because of the charges and things like that. So let's get going into looking at what is to expect in within 24 hours of trading sessions, especially from Asia, as well as what is to be expected from London Open, European, US market later on as well. And I think we can actually see quite a number of things are actually happening already on fundamentally, as we have mentioned in yesterday's commodity sessions as well. But just so we can actually get to the fundamentals market analysis section quite quickly, the quicker we get to that, the better we could actually be picking out trends and pairs in accordance to the trend as well. So here, for example, let me just minimize myself right there. Okay. So on the top 10 movers, for example, as usual, we want to look at top 10, but most importantly, the 4 dots. If there are 4 dots all across all time frames, gives us a bit of an idea. And that's the first one on the list is still CAD Jpy. So that does actually give me the hint that the commodity currencies as well as safe havens are to be focused on as well this week. And we will go through together on the economic calendar as well, just to look at how volatile the market will be for which pair, especially which economy of which country as well. So we can actually determine the trend and also the volatility level to write with it. So CAD Jpy, I would write it down, as well as Aud Jpy and Gbp Jpy. And you can actually see that there's a lot of focus on CADs and also JPY. And this is very clear-cut commodities, focus on commodities, commodity currencies as well. The CAD is one of the commodity currencies. We can also see AUD right here, NZD as well. These are all commodity currencies as well. So there is a reason for that, perhaps, but we will find that out. But usually, if this is actually focused by traders and investors, then this is what we should actually be focusing as well in terms of riding the trend that the big boys have actually created. Okay, so CAD Jpy is one. Second is AUD Jpy. You want to pay attention to that. We can actually see that there's a lot of selling this time on the safe haven JPY or the yen, because you see it's a positive here on the CAD, positive on the change. So it's actually buying on the CAD and selling on the JPY. And then USD, again, selling on there, and then it's buying on the CAD. So a lot of people are actually, as of now, I think, They are buying the CAD. So commodities currencies is on the upside. So that could also reflect the oil situation, whether it is Brent or crude oil US WTI as well. So this could actually be on the upside. We'll take a look at the charts as well. We'll take a look at news as well to look at what's happening with the oil. But oil, as we have also mentioned, there are some support levels there as well, but we'll check that on the charts, and then we'll look at levels and whether or not the trend is actually picking up to the upside or whether it is just a correction. We don't know that yet. So let's also look at Aud Jpy, and that is one of the, that's number 3 in the table. We've also got Gbp Jpy. So Gbp Jpy. So there's a lot of selling on JPY, and I've listed down all the third currency right now with 4 dots, and all the 3 are actually JPY crosses. So we've got CAD Jpy, AUD Jpy, and also Gbp Jpy. So it's all on the downside at the moment for JPY, because all these currency pairs that I have actually listed down are actually, at the moment, most of the traders are actually selling the JPY. They're buying the other ones. Okay, so here we go. We have got that already out of the way at the moment, just so that we get an idea which are the top movers, as well as now we're going on to the currency heat map, just to get a bit of an idea of the trend before we get onto the news side of it in daily FX. So here, as you can see, the overall generic table right there is giving us a very straight column, dark blue, which I like to see in JPY and also in CAD. But this dark blue here on JPY does not mean it is actually bullish. It means that all the other currencies on the left are strongly bullish against the JPY, which basically means JPY is strongly bearish. And the same goes for all these currencies are actually incredibly bearish against the CAD. So CAD is thought to be incredibly or strongly bullish. Okay, so let's take a look at these 2 pairs. So we've got JPY and CAD in focus. They are also very clear in terms of trend, which is a very good thing, especially for a Monday. It doesn't always happen like this on a Monday. So we have got JPY right here. As you can see, it's picking up on the downtrend, especially in the first 2 time frames versus the other currencies, especially USD, Euro, GBP, and CAD. And CAD, there you can see it's picking up in terms of the downtrend. JPY is actually down. It's actually weak, or I would say it is strongly bearish against CAD in the first 2 time frames, the 4-hour and the daily chart. So we don't really see individually, we don't really see the column like that, like what we see in the generic one here. So we need to wait until we have got, very, very clear-cut columns, preferably on all time frames, to be either dark blue or dark red would actually be much better. But it does actually look like it is picking up quite well. We have got one really strong one, CAD versus the AUD, has already sort of marinated in most of the time frames except for the weekly, but it is actually strongly bullish already in the monthly chart. So CAD, AUD, CAD would actually be a pair I would also look at, so that once we get the hint of AUD CAD, if it's really clear, then we can actually find the correlated pairs, and the correlated pairs could be major pairs as well. So then we can actually get a better bearing into what is to expect on all these other pairs as well. So before we go into the news side of things, we can also go on to another tool, which is the action bias right here. We'll check on volatility as well. So we've got one that has all time frames here, but then a bit of a blue in the 1-hour chart, the GBP CHF, but it's strongly bearish on the other time frames as well. But I think, on the heat map, we didn't find very clear trend on the AUD CAD, but on this indicator or tool, we find AUD-CAD to be very, very weak, and AUD-CAD might actually be in a downtrend. So we want to check that because it's want to check for that confirmation ourselves when we go onto the chart AUD-CAD. So that's a nice one to look at as well, especially when you see all four columns right here are actually having the same type of arrow. Okay, whether it's all red or all blue. So yes, so we've got AUD-CAD there to watch out for. I just am a little curious about the correlation of AUD-CAD as well. So I usually go on to Mataf correlations. Okay. So it's mataf.net, and here you will find, you go under Forex right here. And we've got all the correlations here. Oops. Trading, under trading tools, Forex correlations. And as usual, we've got loads of adverts and commercials. Okay, so AUD-CAD, we just go down to this area right there. The daily chart, perhaps, or the 4-hour chart. AUD-CAD. It will give you not only correlation, but also what other pairs, to look out for as well in terms of both fundamentals and technical. So we look for the highest number right here, and we can see that 81 is here. AUD-CAD. That's probably highest one. It's NZD-USD. Points out to NZD-USD. We've also got this one really high, NZD-CAD. So we've also got highly correlated. It looks like it's positively correlated to NZD-CAD right there. We've also got NZD-USD earlier on. Okay, it's got a bit of an idea right there. And I think that's enough. We don't really need too many. We just want to get the idea right there. Okay, that's fine. And when we go back here, the last tool that I would actually use is the volatility chart. And the volatility chart, just to look into CAD and JPY, which are the currencies that it would move most volatile against. So here we go on to we are already on the volatility chart right there. So we go on to, firstly, let's say JPY on the 4-hour versus the daily. So JPY seems to be, it's good. It's actually mirroring what's going on in the market as well. And then we want to see whether or not that mirror is also reflected in the economic calendar as well. So volatility-wise, when we look at JPY, it's highly volatile against very clearly on the daily chart, NZD, and also AUD. And we can actually see that concentration as well on the heat map. We can see that on the top movers as well. So we can see that the focus are on these pairs as well, pairs that involves JPY, CAD, AUD, and NZD. So next we go on to the CAD volatility right here, and we can see that very clear JPY, CHF, and USD. So CAD as well, JPY, CHF, and USD. Okay, that's it. So once we have done all these, we can now proceed to the new section. So as I've mentioned to most traders, I usually try to keep it really simple on the trading day, but I read a lot more, research a lot more, and skim through various other news sort of sources and resources, but then not on a trading day. On a trading day, I want to keep it really very simple, just to pick out the right pair, know the trend, know the market analysis outcome, whether it is what the sentiments are like, risk off, risk on, what are the best pairs to actually pick, where are the concentration of trends are driven by what kind of news events, big ones that we know about, and things like that. Okay, so here, for example, Daily FX is just one of it that allows me to just look at the head titles right there, or the headlines. And here we can see Gold price is eyeing resistance 1785. So then we know that, okay, 1785 to look out for on gold, mainly because I like the way the research outcome is, or how the research team in Daily FX actually work. They are in Singapore, in London, as well as in the US, in New York, and various others. So the team is really huge. They're researching every single hour of the day. They take shifts as well, and then they're controlled by or led and managed by all the top strategies that are actually trading as well, and manages a very huge portfolio. So that is what I like about it as well. So here we have got really top news, and you can see gold prices eyeing resistance, and we know that everybody is awaiting the Jackson Hole meeting. So we know that that's a very big event. I've mentioned that yesterday as well. And here we have got US dollar outlook, Jackson Hole again focus. So this is where it is really important that we know that, oh, something is coming up. Jackson Hole, when is that? Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, I think. And this is where, you know, they're all waiting for that. So the news would also come up with mainstream media talking about Jackson Hole, and maybe, you know, they might actually mix and match news from everywhere just to create the sentiments, whether it is fear, is it greed, things like that, positive or negative, and stuff like that. S&P 500 advance may lift Nikkei 225, and traders eyeing again Jackson Hole. Look at all these here. All the headlines, Jackson Hole, Jackson Hole. So here, if we go onto Google itself, we follow the trend as well on the news. Not Google, sorry, Jackson Hole. And go on to the news right here. And you can see Fed's Jackson Hole Symposium to take place virtually as well. So it's not a physical one, it's a virtual one. And we want to go on to the economic calendar to take a look as well. All the data is coming up with the events. 10 hours ago, power back on after outage in southern part of Jackson Hole. So you see there's a bit of a problem there. So it will be virtual event. Should be at Jackson Hole. So here, it looks like a very heated type event this time. So there's a lot of expectation here. So Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke did in 2010. They are going to be talking a lot about the concerns on inflation because of the CPI and various other numbers as well. So it's going to be very heated up, and a lot of economists and all the specialists, experts and all that will start to actually build all their opinions starting from now as well. So lots of interviews and various other things. But as of today, we are actually looking at lots of movements on commodity currency. So maybe that's where we want to actually focus on trends as well, because we have actually come up with AUD-CAD, NZD-CAD, NZD-USD as well. We are looking at CAD-JPY, AUD-JPY, Gbp Jpy. So we want to follow the trend there of what has actually been created as well, which is really very important. So I think what we can actually do next now, as of now, is to go on to the chart and to look, skim through very quickly what we have actually discussed as well yesterday in our gold outlook. So I want to look at gold, of course, because the heavy lifting of news are surrounding the US symposium, the Jackson Hole symposium, anything got to do with inflation, treasury, bond, everything else. So US highlight, when the spotlight is there, then we can actually expect a lot of movements in commodities, especially in gold and oil as well. So there we go. We are seeing the price of gold have actually headed a little bit lower as well to 1785. It's going, yes, it's got a bit of a rise, of course, but overall, it hasn't really gone above that black box area right there. Okay, so it is actually there. And if we look at the price as of now, if it is on the 1 hour chart, the retreat is happening. That means a correction to the downside is actually happening. If we look to the left, we have got very, very strong resistance, all the way through resistance. And then the most recent one right here. So at this moment of time, if we are looking at the 1 hour chart itself, it's really simple. We can actually see that the confirmation of price at the moment is just following this area right here, okay? This bearish candle, as we can see. So I'm just going to, it's the most recent bearish candle on the left. So what that means is it is actually moving at this moment following that area as well. So if we look at this whole area right here in black box as we are trading at this moment of time, it has a potential of it to actually go down to this level right here, 1782.43. That's based on the 1 hour chart, which is basically 30 minutes or so type time frame. Now, if we look at this box itself as of now for the traders that are actually trading intraday, scalping, and short term, if we go through this whole box right here, we can see it's all bearishness are actually sort of dominating this area right here. So I see a potential of it actually dropping to 1782 for the shortest term, let's say 1783 or so. So here we have got an upward move, so downward move is actually expected right here. If at all it wants to go back up a little bit earlier, then it might also do so. I would guess here at this area right here at 1782. Let's see. 1783 exactly. So so if you are actually selling at the moment, you want some short-term gain, you can actually sell your goal at this moment of time. But for very short term, make sure you actually just exit at 1783 area or so. It's not much there. As we can see, it's already trading at 1784 at this moment of time. So it is looking like it's dropping right there, but it's got that support area anyway between 1783 to 1782, okay, area. So that is on the 1 hour chart. Let's now look at this one here. What I would do is just to clear out everything on gold so we can actually start afresh and look at all these new areas as well. Okay, so this is gold at this moment of time. On 4 hour chart, we can actually see it really clear of the sideways type movement at this moment of time. Very unpredictable, unclear trend. It is actually, most of the candles are trading sideways, as you can see. And not only that, it's actually trading in between the three lines, the three EMAs as well. So is it awaiting for a breakout? We don't know that yet, but there is a potential of a breakout. Whether it is on the upside, downside, we're not sure as well, mainly because of the pattern type. We've got various theories about this kind of pattern as well. But from price action itself, looking at what's going on at this moment of time, we could literally, just use the trend lines right here, draw it, and look at how concentrated, what is it confined to, which area is the price going in what kind of triangle as well. Let's see, let me just adjust this here. And here we've got a rough drawing right there, and I just want to encapsulate all the price there. So here, let's say on the 4 hour chart, it is just doing that sideways, but in a sort of a symmetrical type triangle, if I'm not mistaken, right here. So it could actually go either way. But if we look to the left itself on the 4 hour chart, we have got current price at this moment of time is within a sort of a bearish zone or selling zone at this moment, from the length of this candle itself, or the length of this mother candle from the 1798 right to the this area right here, where price fell even more. So we are in this area, and it looks like more bearish type movements would actually take place in this bearish type zone. So this is what could actually literally happen in this shortest time frame. We can also see that retreat of price coming down started in lower time frame anyway. So if we go on to the 15 minutes, you see that U-turn coming downwards, and then that U-turn gets stronger and stronger with more bearish candle coming down. And then with that, we are looking at 4-hour chart as well, going through that. So I think it's favoring the downside much more than the upside. We have got this whole area right here as well. So it is actually looking the same for it to actually come down more than going up at the moment. So if we go on to very high time frame as well, it is governed within a very strong bearish zone for now at least, and that support remains at 1763. So whatever you do, if you're selling at the moment on gold, make sure you just exit at 1765 or something like that. Okay, so this is basically I'm more on a sell at this moment of time on gold at this moment, because it's looking like it hasn't really picked up, maybe on correction at this moment of time, but it is in a bearish type zone at this moment of time. So I think that's what most likely is to happen, is to pull down price first so that they can actually buy cheaper. Okay, so this is for gold. Now, any questions at the moment for gold before we move on to, I think we should actually take a look at CAD JPY, AUD JPY, and also GBP JPY. But we'll look into oil and the other pairs that we've actually discussed last week as well, just to see where we could actually follow up from. Okay, any questions on gold? No? Okay, all right. So we'll move on just to give you a bit of an idea of what's going on in oil. Oil has actually gone up exactly as where we have actually predicted right there. So it has, as you can see, went down quite a lot, touch point exactly at the area we have actually marked on previous support. It's actually now being supported as well. And hence the reason we're looking at opportunities on buying the CAD as well. CAD is a commodity currency, very much positively correlated to oil. So hence the reason we're looking at this upward movement, and we're looking at CAD going up as well. So we want to take a look at whether or not we can actually trade currencies, especially commodity currencies, and CAD would actually be one of them that's quite interesting. So what about UK oil? The same thing. It's mirroring the move of US oil as well at this moment of time. Even the pattern is quite similar. For the guys in Colombia, the traders there on the, I think this was platinum, sorry. And this is actually going through, not too bad, but it's going through a bit of a correction at this moment of time. Okay, but I'm still biased to the downside, and I see whatever that's moving at this moment of time as a corrective move. Okay, US 30 is actually doing really well. We have actually predicted it to be going up and up and finding support and being supported already as the market opened today as well to the upside. So we need prices again, once again, to actually go above this area right here, above the 35,268 area, and above that, I think we can find a little bit of buying, and then limit your buying as well to the 30, let me just give you a confirmation right there. You're buying to 35,474 area. So yeah, you've got that gap of a little bit more buy on there, but just to be safe on this resistant area at the very top. Okay, so let's look at, just gonna move this here. Okay. So CAD JPY is one of them that we've been looking at. So yes, it has got loads of very nice upward type movement. This is on the 4-hour chart. We've been looking at CAD JPY. I've drawn this as of last week, the blue zone, as you can see, based on that mother candle, bullish mother candle there. It has actually gone up and it is respecting that candle right there, mirroring the move as well. But we're trading at 86.15. So the next buy round would probably be better at 86.30 because we are very close to the 86.20 psychological number. So overall, yes, CAD JPY, as we've seen, is looking like it's appreciating quite well. So the bias is to the upside. We've got loads of movement expected to the upside much more, especially when we look at higher time frame as well. So yes, we've got loads of opportunities right there, and also to the left of various time frame, we're looking at loads of very bullish candles as well. As you can see, bullish candle, and all the way up. So I see some more movement. We are only at 86. We're not far from the borderline right there. So if you're already buying right now, make sure you exit at 86.40. because that end of this line right here is 86.45, but we'll take it 10 pips under the 50 psychological number. So whatever you do in buying CAD JPY, make sure you exit at 86.40 for CAD JPY. And then we'll take a look at more upward type movement, and just to make sure whether or not the price of oil or other catalysts would actually push the CAD to go up, and other other negative news to pull down the JPY instead. Okay, so that is for CAD JPY, guys. We want to take a look at AUD JPY as well. So I'll just NZD JPY has actually done really well. Now it has actually gone upwards exactly at the D point, as you can see, exactly on the D point. You've got the opening price of a mother candle, bullish mother candle, going to the upside. So here we can always look at to the left, your bearish what do you call that, opening price candle can be your exit price for your buys as well. Okay, here, and here. All right, so there you go. This is NZD JPY. I'll keep this chart so I wouldn't take that out, but let's move on to AUD JPY, see what's going on, whether or not we've got some trading opportunities. So AUD, as we have seen, heat map everywhere else looking bearish, looking bullish, sorry, because of the bearishness of the JPY. It's got this pickup here on the 1 hour chart, as you can see, but still in between the 3 lines. So let's compare that to the 4 hour chart as well. You still see that, but all the lines are pointing downwards. So is it a correction or not? There's a bit of uncertainty as well. What I can see very clearly is to the left, if I go into the daily chart, that upward type movement could be supported much more higher. So I'm looking at these 2 mother candles right here, bullish mother candles. So let's look at the opening price right there. Okay, so if at all I'm looking at buying the AUD versus the JPY, I see that 78.88 is the opening price right there. So I wouldn't enter that price, maybe 78.90 or 79.10. So let's mark the 2 prices, 78.90 for your buy. Okay, so this could be a pending, either 78.90. Okay, 78.90, that's one price right there, or 79.10, 78.90 and 79.10. Perfect. So now we have got these one. I usually would prefer the higher one right there, and also to actually exit. I'll mark that in red. Bring this one down to the ending of that candle, opening of the next one. Okay, that's 79, 79.64, 79.65. Okay, not too bad actually. You can actually buy at 79.10 and then exit at probably 79.60 onwards. You can actually exit that trade right there. And if the price actually goes above beyond that, you could probably leave that trade open and just let it ride and exit at 80. Let's say 80.10 would probably be better. Yeah. There we go. So a little bit of buying opportunities, I would guess, here with two exit areas, either 79.60 area, or you leave your trade open as it is, and then as it goes up to just exit at the last price at 80.10. So that's what I see as a potential area of buy actually, but the buy should actually start a little bit later, 78.90 onwards, because at this moment of time, not really sure what could actually happen, because you do have some resistant area as well. So we've got all these resistant areas, so it needs to actually go higher as well. So the buy should actually take place limited, because you're still in a bearish type zone as well on AUD JPY. Okay, so whatever you do, not go beyond this area right here. This is a close to 79.20s area, is this area right there, where it's the opening price of that mother candle. Okay, so that is basically it on AUD JPY short term, okay, for this price that you can actually see. Okay, so we've covered CAD JPY, AUD JPY. Let's take a look at GBP JPY. There we go. Now, GBP Jpy, we've discussed this as of last week. It is finding that support. There is a potential, as I've mentioned as well, an inverted or upside down type cup and handle pattern as well. So here it has actually, got supported with all these major support area we can actually see as well, especially this one here, the mother candle right there. It is trading at 150.08 area, so it's really close to the 150.00 psychological number. As it goes above or higher, it would actually bump into the 150.20 psychological level as well. So what I can actually see is, yes, we do have some bullishness here. This is on the daily chart, so I will lay out the blue zone right here based on this. Probably better based on this bullish candle right here. Okay, so quite similar in length as well. Right. Okay, so let's see where that resistance is. Okay, at 151.20 area. So as it actually goes up and up, I think it's appreciating in price for the GBP, also because JPY is really weak. So as it goes above, I think you can actually start buying just shortly at 150.10 onwards, unless you want to 150. Yeah, 150.10, or if you want to be more conservative, you can actually buy at 150.30, just to be sure as well. Let's say we go here, 150.30, or you can start buying now as well at your own risk, and then you take profit 151.10. Okay, 151.10. Just under the psychological number 20. 10 right there. Okay, so there is a bit of a gap right there, so I will just highlight that as the black area right here. Okay, a bit of trading area right here for the buy. Okay, so you're buying at 150.30 and then you're exiting at 151.10. So here it's giving you a little bit of a buy opportunity at about, let's say, not too bad, actually 70 plus pips potential right there. So you can actually set up a pending order at 150.30 and then exit at 151.10. Okay, it looks like it's picking up quite well, not too bad, actually, on the GBP JPY, but whether or not it's a correction or things like that, we don't know that yet. But as of now, that is what's available. I think it's got that wick and all that in the lowest time frame, so hence the reason we want to be safer in buying later, if at all it's going to pick up. So that would actually be at 150.30, exit 151.10. Okay. All right. I think that's basically it. We've covered a few pairs right there, and along the week, the days as well. You can contact me directly, and basically with your screenshot, and we'll be happy to help. There is a weak support to buy. The weak support, usually I use price action to entry and to exit, meaning psychological numbers as opposed to the wick itself. Resistance, yes. So here it is actually showing resistance. I wouldn't actually want to enter anywhere now as it's actually going down. You mean enter for the sell? If you're entering for a sell, it's entirely up to yourself, but it's actually a risk at the moment, because as you go on to different time frame, it is actually picking up in price, not picking up in the price going down, picking up in the price going up. But it might correct, but you know, if you want to enter a sell, then while it correct, we don't know to what extent it would actually correct, because we have got 150.00 as another support area. So maybe you want to look at whether or not it wants to go up or not, because maybe this is just a correction at this moment of time. Okay, so might be a bit of a correction right there. Let's see, because at this moment of time, yes, the overall trend is to the downside, GBP versus JPY, but as of today, JPY is actually getting really weak, so GBP is actually picking up. So because GBP is picking up, commodities picking up, and you remember the correlation between GBP and gold as well, so gold would actually be expected to go up as well, and then GBP is at this moment of time versus JPY, it is in the bullish zone. So because it's in the bullish zone, we are only looking at buy potential. Unless it drops down even more and enter this sell zone, then yes, you can actually then think of the sell. But at this moment of time, I will only think of the buy, because it's in a buy zone. It's not in a sell zone as yet. It is correcting, but I will wait until it goes to the buy side and then take the buy order, because it is in the buy zone. See, you need to look at in which zone it is actually, most importantly. Yeah, so you can actually buy, but not just yet, until it goes to 150.30. I think then it will trigger your buy pending order. Then you can actually exit at 151.10. Okay, all right. So that's for GBP Jpy. There you go. Okay, because it's in a buy zone at this moment of time, and it's looking like it wants to pick up much more, but a bit of correction perhaps. But our buy will not actually get triggered until it goes to 150.30 and 151.10 to actually exit. Okay. All right, GBP Jpy, that is. All right, guys, I think that's all I have for you guys. Feel free to actually contact me directly with your screenshots as well for today's trades and any questions that you may have. Okay, all good so far. Any questions, Alfred? You okay? Okay, good. All right, wishing you guys a happy pipping week ahead, and any questions, feel free to just message me directly, and with your screenshots as well, with your what do you call that, your screenshots with your trades that you are thinking of, and your entries and your exits as well. Okay, all right, guys, take care. Thank you very much. Wishing you guys a great week ahead. Happy pipping, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday's midweek review. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.